नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Om. Dear friends, welcome to the Mahabharata. We were seeing the episode where Pandavas, they were about to start for the country where Drupada was there, to Drupada's place. So we know that Pandavas, they were staying in exile, not exile, they were staying in disguise actually. They were in disguise staying in one particular place called Ekachakrapuram. And to that place, one tourist Brahmin came and he told among various things, he told about the Swayamvara of Draupadi. Swayamvara, I told you, Swayam means self, Vara means to select. So selecting a husband, the girl herself selects the husband from among all the participants. So usually there is also a challenge. There is also some sort of challenge, and then the man has to perform some feat in order to achieve that lady. And of course, if more people achieved that feat, we have not come across such stories. Probably whomever that girl liked, probably that was the rule. We do not know. But there was a sort of code of conduct among the kings that when a girl's Swayamvara was announced, whoever wins the girl, he will happily take away. And other people should not grudge, other people should not fight, and it was the code of honor rather. So that way, these Pandavas also, they wanted to go, but they could not tell their mother. How can they tell, oh mom, we also want to go to that Swayamvara? They could not say. But that Kunti is a very wise lady. Kunti detected it. Oh, these people's mind, their mind is there on that Swayamvara. And okay, she said, okay, let us go there. Then what happens on the way? Vyasa, sage Vyasa comes and meets these people, and then she tells the story of the earlier life of the Draupadi. In that earlier life, Draupadi had done a great tapas, and then in that tapas, Lord Shiva blessed her. Yes, you will be having five husbands in the next life. So fine. So that lady, she is the same Draupadi, and she is going to be your wife. So that also Vyasa says, Nirdishta bhavatam patni Krishna parshatyanindita. So he says, Nirdishta bhavatam patni means she is destined to be Nirdishta. By God, so she is destined to be your wife. So that is what she says. So deha manyam gataya astya. So Panchala nagare tasmat nivasadhvam mahabalaha. Okay, that lady is now, she is created for you. She is destined to be your wife. And because in the earlier life, she was promised 5 husbands. So now all the 5 have to marry her. So that is what Vyasa tells her. Of course, this we do not know how to accept it. Because polygamy, we have seen. Polygamy, we know that in those days, in olden days, the kings or any rich man, he could marry 2, 3, 4 wives, depending on his own interest. Whereas for women, that polyandry, we do not know whether there was any polyandrical tribe or some such thing in olden days. Polyandrical tribes could have been there. But these people, they did not belong to a polyandrical tribe. These Kauravas, they didn't belong, Pandavas, they didn't belong to a polyandrical tribe. So, but anyway, we will just follow the story as it is. So all the people, then again, they move. Pandavas are also very much enthusiastic. So now that they know that, yes, we are going to that Swayamvara. And they traveled the whole day and night. And in the process, when it was a nightfall, they were there somewhere in a jungle, and in that jungle there was also a lake, and in that lake it so happened that one Gandharva, we know the word Gandharva. Gandharva is some sort of celestial being, usually more powerful than human being, and though that Gandharva, along with his wives, he was busy in his water sports, what we call Jalak Krida, we say. Jalam is water, Krida means sport, water sports. Now we know all types of water sports we see on TV. So some type of water sports may be diving and some sort of, we know that different types of sports are there. So that sort of thing, he was busy. And the Pandavas also went. Not exactly lake, there in the river, the Ganga river. In that Ganga river, in a very slightly secluded place, very clean, very good place, That man was enjoying. Meanwhile, Pandavas also went there, and Arjuna was carrying a torch in his hand. Torch means not our battery operated torch. Torch is a long pole to which, at the end of which one cloth is tied, and that cloth is dipped in oil. In olden days, there was no torchlight, there was no battery. So a long pole, at the end of that pole, the cloth is tied and then dipped in oil, and then after that it is, the fire is lit, and then some flame will be coming. So occasionally you have to put some oil onto that so that the fire goes on. So somebody has to carry some oil also, and you have to ensure that that keeps on giving that flame. So that sort of flame, yeah, Olympic flame, we are aware of this Olympic flame. That is the torch, Olympic torch. We have seen all the Olympics, and then they do carry a torch, following that old tradition. So that torch Arjuna was carrying in front, and he was going. So, and that Chitraratha, he felt disturbed. He felt disturbed. Who are these fellows when I am enjoying with my wives? Who are these fellows coming? So he came out and challenged. Who are all? This is my place, and this time, particularly this evening time, it is earmarked for us. It is not the time for you. This time is earmarked for the Gandharvas and all that. Your time is only in the morning. So there was some sort of argument between those people, and then there is going to be a fight here. And Arjuna says, no, you have no right on Ganga. Ganga is already so pious, and everyone has got equal authority or equal right on the river Ganga. He says all people have got an equal right on ocean. Of course, Vyasa, in those days, there was no great quarrel among nations regarding supremacy over the ocean. What is your limits in the ocean, and what we call territorial waters and whatnot. So to this extent, it is India's right, and beyond that, it is international waters. So somewhat like that, there is a discussion. And this Arjuna says, on an ocean, there is nobody, it belongs to everybody. It is international rights. And similarly, Ganga also is like that. There is no specific time. So there is a discussion about Ganga. Of course, whenever there is a context, Vyasa also introduces some details. So here some details about the greatness of Ganga and how it has come from the heaven, and then from Bhuloka it goes to Patala Loka, and then so it is something which is so pious, etc., etc., all those things. Asambadha Devanadi, Swarga Sampadini Shubha. Asambadha, this is something where there is nobody is barred from entering Ganga. So anyway, Gandharva also became angry. He started shooting arrows. And Arjuna also he took out. He pulled out his what is that? Bow and arrows, and then he also shot. And in that fight, Arjuna released what is called Agneya Astra. Agneya means Agni. Agni means fire. Agneya means related to fire. So probably they had some sort of fire weapon. In those days, suppose you just shoot it and some fire comes out. So we do not know the intensity of fire and then the extent of fire, the magnitude of fire, but then it produced a lot of fire. So Agniveshya Gurur Mama, so he shot that Gandharva, this Astra. And that Astra went and fell on the chariot of that Gandharva, and that Gandharva was in a chariot, and the chariot broke, and then he came down onto the ground, and Arjuna literally caught him. Arjuna literally caught him and then brought him to this Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is Dharmaraja. And at the time that wife of that one of the wives, let us say, she came probably the eldest wife, we do not know. So she came forward running to Yudhishthira, oh, don't kill him, etc. Now Yudhishthira says, no, Arjuna, don't do any harm to him. After all, his wives are also here, let us not do any harm to him. So meanwhile, this Arjuna and Gandharva, this Gandharva says, I know who you are, I know that you are all very great people. Jitoham Purvakam Nama. So he says, I do know that you are the son of Panduraja, and then not only son of Panduraja, you are born to Indra. I know that he is born to Yamadharmaraja, and I know that Bhima is born to this Vayudeva, etc., etc. I know you all. So that is what he says. But now I am pleased with you. I want to give my Vidya to you. You give me your Agneyastra to me. So that Gandharva probably did not have that Agneyastra, that weapon of fire. So you teach me what that is. I will teach you another thing. So Gandharva also has some other Vidya. What is that? He can he can see. It is called a Chakshushi Vidya. He can see whatever happens, whatever he wants to know, he will know with that Vidya. Probably with that Vidya, he knew all the background of these Pandavas. So with that Vidya, he knew the entire background of Pandavas, and still he challenged them. Why he challenged, of course, he is going to say. So that is Chakshushi Vidya. I am going to give you this Chakshushi Vidya. You give me your Vidya, that particular Astra. So fine, after they do accept, they do agree for that. But meanwhile, some more discussion takes place. Between them. And in that, Arjuna says, no, if you are afraid of me and then if you are giving that Vidya I don't want to take, I also want to give something to you. So that is what he says. At that time, of course, this Gandharva says, you please give that Astra to me. So that is how discussion goes on. And that, as I said, that Gandharva was also saying, I know that you are the son of Indra, he is the son of Dharmaraja, etc., etc. Then Arjuna asked, when you know who we are, how is it that you attacked us? You know that we are also powerful, we are also great warriors. But then, how is it that, why did you attack us? Then he gives a peculiar reason. Not peculiar to us, but in those days it was the norm. What is that? Anagnayo anahutayah nacha viprapuraskrutah yuyam tato dharshitastha maya vai pandunandana. So that Gandharva says, you are not going along with a Purohita. You are all Kshatriyas. And you being Kshatriyas, you are supposed to carry your fires. A Kshatriya is a Dvija. A Brahmana, Kshatriya and all these people, Vaishya, they are all Dvijas. And then those people, they are supposed to carry fires. They have to maintain their fires in their houses. Nowadays, very, very rarely you come across people who have that fireplace. And fireplace means not the Western type of fireplace. They used to have some fire for the purpose of yajna. So nowadays we find very, very extremely rarely. But in those days, people had to carry that fire. Again, probably fire was also a physical need, which was basically a human need. So, in fact, getting fire was such an important thing that bringing fire to earth. There is a Greek story also about one person who was cursed by gods. He brought fire to mankind. I forget his name. So, like that, fire was an important thing in those days. So all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, etc., they had to carry their fires also along with them. And also, they should also have a Purohita in front of them. Purohita, we know what is a Purohita. Purohita means not merely a priest. Purohita is somebody who is a very well-read man, Vedas, etc. He is supposed to have studied Vedas. And also, he is somebody who will know in advance what is going to happen, and we are having some bad time, or we are having some good time. You are having this, you are having that, etc. So the Purohita is a sort of spiritual mentor to the king, whoever is the king, or any Kshatriya. Yes, he is a sort of spiritual mentor, because the king in those days, you see, the institution of Purohita was very, very sensitive. In any society, we need some checks and balances. Now, of course, we know that we are having a democracy. In this democratic setup, what are these checks and balances? The Prime Minister may be a very powerful man, but he cannot do anything without, beyond the limit of law. He is totally bound by law. And who is ensuring that he goes by law? There are courts. Whatever the Prime Minister does, there is what is called judicial review. The judges, they do review, and then the judges say, no, it is unconstitutional, or they just say it is illegal. So now the Prime Minister wants to do something, even he cannot do anything. So like that, there are checks and balances now. Of course, in a totalitarian states, those things may not be there. But in democratic states, there are checks and balances. And in those days, you see, when kings, they were all powerful. And that was supposed to be the divine right of theory. There is a divine right theory of kings. The king is the descendant. He is actually the representative of God on earth. And of course, we didn't have the divine right theory. We, the Western society, if you see, they have the divine right. We did not have it. Only thing was, at the time of Abhisheka, there are various mantras invoking the powers of Indra, invoking the powers of Yama, invoking the powers of Varuna, etc., onto this person, whoever is the person. So you are only invoking those benevolent powers of all those deities, so that the king will be a valorous man, he is a judicious man, he is somebody who is very good in Dandaniti, that is jurisprudence, etc. And he is also a very brave person, who is a very generous king, etc., etc. So all those divine attributes, they have to be drawn into him, they have to be attracted into him. So that is the reason why the Purohitas, they used to chant mantras, invoke the powers of all those gods. So that is the job of a Purohita. And this Purohita is, again, he is supposed to be a, earlier story also we saw, he is supposed to be a very virtuous, very simple person, he is not supposed to be a greedy person. And if this Purohita is a corrupt fellow, the mantras will not work. That is also there. And a Purohita has to be a good person, a good person, a virtuous person, well-read person, all these qualities are there. So this Gandharva says, you are not having a Purohita, so that is the reason why I attacked you. And he also tells one more reason, you are also a good brahmachari. Brahmacharyam parodharma sachapi niyatasvai. Brahmacharya means, you can say celibacy. The general meaning is celibacy. Brahmacharya, it also has a wider meaning. Brahmacharya means a person who is very seriously studying Vedas, leading a very pious, very virtuous life. So that is what is Brahmacharya. Brahmani charati iti brahmachari. That is a person who is interested in knowing what is the absolute reality. That is Brahmachari. At the Vedanta level, if you see, the meaning is Brahmani charati iti brahmachari. A person who wants to know what is that supreme reality. He is that Brahmachari. So, because in the Vedas, the very subject of Vedas is what is that supreme reality. So, Brahmachari. So, we have a bad, usually, by seeing all our films, you see there is so much of later literature and also some films, which project Arjuna as some sort of Casanova, as somebody who is a sort of philandering person. A person who goes around and then he will just take a woman everywhere he wants. So, not like that. Arjuna is a very pious person, and whenever he married also elsewhere, he married according to dharma only. He did not transgress dharma. We are going to see it later, how when Urvasi, that divine damsel, comes to tempt him. So he is so totally strict, and then he just does not accept her, say, all her advances. So that is how we see. So here also this Gandharva says, Brahmacharyam paro dharmaha. So that is the reason, Yasmat tasmad aham rane partha, jito partha, ranesme vijitasvaya. That is also the reason why I am defeated by you. Otherwise, I can't be defeated, because you are such a good Brahmachari, and good Brahmachari, I was defeated by you. So that is what that man says. And again, he also says, a lustful person cannot defeat me. Yastusya kshatriya kaschit. A kshatriya who is a lustful man, he will not be able to defeat me. So then he tells one important thing, that is, Purohitamate tishthet yaichet bhutimatmanaha. So he also says, any king, he has to have a good advisor. So as I was saying, a Purohita is not somebody like a boss. He is a sort of check. Nowadays we have got, in modern society, we have got some checks and balances. In olden days, when the king was all powerful, what is the check on him? Only a moral authority was the check. And who provided that moral authority? The moral authority was provided by the Rishi. Suppose there is a king, Raja Vasishtha is there. That sage Vasishtha is there. That Vasishtha was the advisor to Dasharatha. He was the advisor to Rama. So like that, some Vasishtha, we have so many sages. We have so many sages who are the moral authority on the kings. So that is what we see even in the Gita. Gita also says the same thing. A good advisor has to be there for a king. Then, Purohitamate tishthet yaichet bhutimatmanaha. A person who wants all achieve good things, he has to go by the advice of a Purohita. In the sense that Purohita, he will be a check. He will not allow this king to do any adharmika thing. the basic job of a Purohita is not to, follow the desires of the king. The king's desires may be adharmic in nature, that is unrighteous in nature. Purohita has to tell him, this is right, this is wrong, you have to go on the right path only. So, and he has to ensure that the king moves on the right track. So, that is what this man said, this Gandharva said. And here I am skipping some chapters from chapter 170 to 181. I am skipping some chapters because there are some stories relating to some Puranas, and then some sort of mythological stories. I am skipping those Puranas. We will just come back to, we will just follow the Mahabharata story only. So, then the Pandavas ask, you know lot many things. You tell us who will be a good advisor to us, who will be a good Purohita to us. So, then this Gandharva, he tells, oh, there is a person called Dhaumya. This man, of course, very rarely you come across this name in Mahabharata. Just for the sake of the story, I am telling you. So, his name is Dhaumya. So, there is a person called Dhaumya. You please go and then you request him. So, naturally, that Gandharva and Arjuna become good friends. So, Arjuna takes that Vidya from him, that Chakshushi Vidya by which he can know whatever he wants to know about any person. And he also gave that Agneya Astra to him. They became good friends. And thereafter, they also went to that Brahmana, they went to that person Purohita, and they requested him to be a Purohita for them. And that man also agreed. So, he became a Purohita. The Purohita's duty is, wherever these people go, that Purohita also will be coming. So, that is a problem. So, that Purohita's problem was, wherever these kings went, that man also will be there in front. Purohita, agre, Puraha means agre. So, agre sthapitaha, that is, he has to walk in front. There, for any good or bad, he is the man who will have to face it. So, that way. So, now that way, now we have come to this Swayamvara place. We have not yet come. Of course, the Pandavas are still traveling. The Pandavas are still traveling, and en route they also find one group of Brahmanas who are going to that place, and this ideal camouflage for them, because the Pandavas were also in the guise of Brahmanas, and they also found a large group of Brahmanas who were going to that place. They joined that group. So, like pilgrims joining, some pilgrims joining, and then there is a bigger batch. So, this small batch goes and joins another big batch. So, like that, these Pandavas, they got a camouflage and also a good cover there. And they, instead of camouflage, I think cover is a better word, more suitable word. So, Brahmins, these Pandavas have got a good cover in the midst of all those Brahmanas, and they went along. And the Brahmanas were also saying, yeah, let us, oh, come along with us, we will go there. Brahmanas, usually they volunteer a lot of information. So, Vedi Madhyat Samutpanna Padmavatra Nibhedshana. Yes, Brahmins are also describing that beautiful woman. Swasa Tasya Anavadyangi Draupadi Tanumadhyama Anavadyangi. Such a flawless or faultless beauty. She says, they say, Anavadyangi means such a flawless structure, Angi. Then Tanumadhyama, very thin waist. And so, like that, they describe that lady. And again, what is the interest of these Brahmins? Their interest is Te Tatra Vividhan Dayan Vijayartham Nareshwaraha. And there we are going to get lot many gifts. There is a 16-day program. In fact, probably this 16-day program was to ensure that all kings, lot many kings come. Suppose they announce a particular day and only one or two people come, that program will be a failure. So, they organized a 16-day program. And that 16-day program, people will come slowly, and then they relax somewhere, and then they may do some makeup, and then come properly. And meanwhile, some sort of entertainment programs will be there, so that these people are saying, Pradasyanti dhanam gasya bhakshyam bhojyancha sarvashaha. They will get a lot good food, and then some sort of gifts will be there. They will also give us some cows, godhanam, etc. Nata Vaitalikas Tatra. There will be some shows. Show means some sort of plays. Nata means actors. Some actors will be enacting some plays. And then again some people, some dancers, Nartakaha, Sutam, Agadhaha. So there will be some dancers, there will be some plays, etc. And Yodhakascha Deshebhya, there will be wrestlers also. So all types of, all entertainment. Some dance, some music, some sort of plays, and then some sort of fights, etc. All those things will be there. We will all go there, enjoy for about 15, 16 days, and then we will also get some gifts, etc. Evam kautuhalam krutva. So they said, okay, let us all go there, and then we will also see that that competition on that final day, that 16th day. That competition will be there. So that competition, and all the Brahmins also tell them, oh, you are also very handsome-looking people. You, Draupadi may even marry you. They say, fine. They all go there. And now we come to the next chapter, where these people, they reach that city of Panchala Desha. And after reaching, we see there is again, already this Drupada had announced on the very first day that idam sajjam dhanuh krutva sajjai rebhischa sayakai. He had made a very tough bow, very difficult to bend and very difficult to put string on. So he had prepared a bow, not merely bow and arrows, but he also created some sort of machine, some type of machine, some contraption, let us say, some machine on attached to the roof, where one fish was rotating. One fish was rotating in a circular manner, and below that there was some wheel was also moving. That wheel also had some holes. So the shooter has to shoot it in such a way that through the holes of that wheel he has to shoot that fish, and that fish also is rotating, that wheel also is rotating. So he has to see, and also not looking at it. He has to look at the shadow, look at the image, not shadow, look at the image of it in the water. So there is water beneath. So the shooter has to look down into the water, see the image of it, and then he has to shoot it. So that was the picture. That was the test. So anyway, all the people, they came, and when Pandavas came, they took shelter. They also have to halt somewhere. Where did they halt? Kumbhakarasya shalayam nivasam chakrire dada. You see the social conditions of that time. These people, the Pandavas, they were in the guise of Brahmanas, and they took shelter in the house of a potter. We know that potter Kumbhakara. Nowadays in Telugu we call it Kummari. So these Pandavas stayed in the house of a potter. So the potter, of course, their food probably is different, but then they stayed in that potter's workshop. There is a potter's workshop also. That workshop where there is some wheels, and then all those things are made. So in that potter's workshop, so they took shelter. And so they also we see the social condition. That is, a Brahmana could stay in the house of a potter also. Then on the next morning, of course, they went to that place, and then there is a big description of that place about how beautiful that amphitheater, a huge amphitheater, or what we call stadium nowadays. That stadium, how nicely how beautiful that stadium was, and how various kings came, and how that various kings they compete. We will see it tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.